DLSS 3.5?
You hear it everywhere. DLSS this, DLSS that. But what is it? And why is it doing the impossible?
Okay, it's not dick sucking lips. Yeah, because that would be, yeah, okay. Because then there's actually like another letter too. Okay, never mind.
This
yeah,
AI-based technology is being talked about in the media a great deal, and it is supposedly a way of dramatically speeding up computer games
23
and
FPS,
virtual
100.
worlds. So, does this really work? Well, when Jensen Huang, NVIDIA CEO, says that every single pixel on your screen for these games will not be rendered, but will be generated soon, presumably by an AI, that really got my attention.
What the fuck?
That sounds insane. And if hearing this, you think that this cannot possibly be true, I don't blame you for a second. We can't just create all this footage. There has to be a proper system that can compute reflections, diffuse interactions, and all that. Alright?
So you telling me all this exists and Twitch still has a 6K bitrate? You telling me you can make this bonsai tree in a fucking video game, but we gotta deal with a 6K bitrate?
Not quite. In 2018, I had a little project where I wanted to generate photorealistic images of material models quickly.
Okay.
Now, generating an image through ray tracing took up to 40 to 60 seconds, and that was a bit too long for my taste.
Takes a while.
So, I tried to write a neural renderer that could take just the description of a material model, and it would immediately, in real time, synthesize what it would look like. And it was able to do all this not in 60 seconds, but in 3 milliseconds. Yes, it was 20,000 times faster. However,
that's pretty, guys, I think that's pretty fast.
It was limited to this very scene. So, how did this research field improve in the last 5 years? Do we have anything more usable now? Oh boy, if only I could tell you. Well, meet DLSS, Deep Learning Super Sampling.
Oh, so that's what it stands for. Okay. That's crazy.
This is a system where hardware and software works together to create an incredible experience where games and virtual worlds really run faster than what should be possible.
Wow.
So, how? Well, as of DLSS version 3, get this, by generating 7 out of every 8 pixel that appears on the screen. Yes, more than 85% of the pixels are just generated, not computed by, for instance, ray tracing or traditional techniques. Yes, that sounds flat out impossible, but it is possible. The first step is running super resolution in real time. This means that a coarse image goes in and an AI finds out if we pretended.
Damn, so can you do that with like those sample pictures that girls post for like OnlyFans that are like pixelated? Holy shit.
That this is a fine image instead. What are the details that are missing?
You know what? I hope that somebody goes, somebody said this in chat, I hope somebody goes, they use this on UFOs, and they use this fucking sampling technology, and the flying saucer turns out to be a frisbee. With like a laser taped on the top of it.
And it synthesizes those details.
Paper plate,
Second,
yeah.
optical flow. We can look at 2 adjacent frames.
Yeah, this totally like this changes the game for some of that hentai, right? I mean, like, wow. I really like, I mean, I know I think about all the wrong things whenever you consider this, but it really changes the game.
Of the video game and try to estimate what has happened between them and where things are going. With this, entire intermediate frames can be synthesized, creating the illusion as if the game was running smoother than our hardware can run it. Combining.
So it's not actually frames generated, it's the illusion of frames generated that are generated in between the actual frames that are generated. That's incredible. Does that affect like input delay or anything? Like, I wonder. That's amazing.
The two together with a pool of very few pixels
Holy
that are
shit.
computed, both image quality and smoothness can be improved at the same time. What a time to be alive!
Yeah,
but
for
it
real.
does not stop there. It gets better. They have also announced DLSS 3.5, so hopefully all this can be improved even.
God damn, bro, like whenever I'm gonna play this new Cyberpunk shit that just came out. I heard all the reviews on it are like S tier. Everybody thinks it's great. And whenever I play it, I want to try out. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna play it the same as I play Starfield. I'm just gonna run around and shoot people, right? That's gonna be about it. Do that for a few days, quit the game. If y'all are looking for like a, playthrough of the game, you're looking in the wrong spot. But I'm just saying in general. It fills in the gaps? Yeah, I guess so. That's incredible. Like, this is amazing. What I'm saying is, like, I want to see what the graphics on that game look like.
Further, through something that they call ray reconstruction.
Ray reconstruction.
Oh my goodness. This is going to be so good. But how? Well, normally when we perform ray tracing, we simulate the path of millions and millions of rays and bounce them around in the scene. And if we can't afford to wait for up to hours at a time for an image, we will have to settle for a really noisy image. Like this. Denoising techniques exist that try to guess what the missing information could be, but they are not perfect.
Sure.
Not even close. Some important details between objects can be missed entirely, and still, reflections can be a lot less clear than in a full simulation. And, unfortunately, we have a problem. It gets even worse. This image will undergo an upscaling step where these errors get magnified even more. Denoising and upscaling.
Yeah, I feel like this kind of happens with, I feel like another version of this kind of happens with like some AI art stuff.
Are two separate steps typically done
like
by two
shit.
separate models, so why not do both of them with the same AI model? And now, ray reconstruction enters the scene.
Okay.
It learned on a ton more information than the previous models. 5 times more training data was given to it.
That's incredible.
And look at this step. This one is right on the money. This is tailored to retain high-frequency information, fine details to make sure that before the upscaling step, we have the highest quality information available.
Isn't it, like, I mean, sometimes I really go back and I think to myself, like, how crazy is it that I grew up and I played Super Mario World and now I'm looking at this? Isn't that fucking insane? It's like not even in the same fucking universe. It's incredible. This is amazing, man. I love this.
So, is it better than what denoisers did before? Oh my goodness, look at that!
Wow,
We finally get that shadowy region back that was filled in by incorrect information with the denoisers before. Yummy! So good! And that high-frequency information retaining capability can also be witnessed here. Loving it. Now, note that ideally, here, we talk about peer-reviewed research papers where we can see all the weak points and failure cases. That is my home turf. This is not a research paper, so it is harder for me to find the flaws, so bear in mind that it may have weaknesses that were not shown here.
Sure.
And in the meantime, this technology is being handed out to millions and millions of people all around the world, and it is.
I never really focus on the negatives with stuff like this because, like, everything that was a negative back in the day probably isn't anymore. And, like, I assume that they're just gonna fix it. Yeah, it's progress. They'll figure it out. And the fact that it's even happening this much is insane to me. It just takes some time. Yeah, exactly.
Incredible. So, this will be available only for the shiniest, newest graphics card owners, right?
That's amazing. Like, look at that shit. Oh my god. Like, what I think is so amazing about this sometimes is, like, the DLSS actually improves the picture from what it originally even was.
Hold on to your papers, fellow scholars, because here comes the best part. No, this comes to all RTX graphics cards, even the older ones that you can pick up for a couple $100. This can breathe new life into aging hardware, which is highly appreciated.
That's incredible. So you can get this DLSS in like one of the, like a 2060? Dude, that came out like 4 or 5 years ago. My 2070 lives, yeah.
Note that the particular game or app you're running has to be ready for DLSS 3.5 for all this magic to happen. Now, I am a light transport researcher by trade. I dream with rays of light and ray tracing, if you will, so I am incredibly happy to see this technology make it into the hands of real users in the real world in such an incredible way.
Yeah,
and
this is
make
amazing.
no mistake, this is not perfect by any means. There are games...
Dude, how do you take something from like...
Make no mistake, this is not perfect.
I feel like whenever I see 15 to 85 FPS... Like, I feel like there's got to be, like, some kind of a, like, it's got to be, like, bullshit or something, you know? That's incredible. Starfield doesn't have DLSS? Actually, I think Starfield is patching in DLSS. Isn't that correct?
By any means.
They don't have it,
there
but they're
are
going
games
to?
where it does not appear to work very well, and some people prefer to not use it at all.
I know there's
anywhere.
a mod now,
However, note that this is still to not use it at all anywhere. However, note...
Jesus, bro, like, that is... as somebody who raided in Burning Crusade and Wrath on a PC that I bought from Sam's Club, and by I bought, I mean my mom bought for me, this is like... Where the fuck was this? Dude, where was this in Wrath of the Lich King?
That this is still nascent technology and it can already synthesize more than 85% of these frames, which is something that I thought would only be possible in a science fiction movie. Maybe not even there. I am absolutely stunned by these results, even with their weaknesses. And don't forget to invoke the first law of papers. The first law of papers says that research is a process. Do not look at where we are, look at where we will be 2 more papers down the line.
That's what I think is so interesting. Like, that perspective, I completely agree with it. Because, like, if you look at, like, for example, AI art 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 1 year ago, each different stage of it is so dramatically different, it's astonishing. And it's especially the same with, like, AI voices, everything like that. So, like, whenever I see something like this, it's insane, but, like, it's not, like, here's a good way to look at it. Unreal 5 is fucking insane, right? But there will come a day that Unreal 8 comes out. And what the fuck is that gonna be?
Weights and Biases provides tools to track your experiments in your deep learning projects. Their system is designed to save you a ton of time and money, and it is actively used in projects at prestigious...
I also think this is like a really positive thing because it makes PC gaming more accessible to a larger audience. One of the big reasons why PC gaming isn't as popular as console gaming, and of course it's not as popular as mobile gaming, is because PCs are expensive. So if you can run a PC with lower specs and still make, be able to play like state-of-the-art games and like new games at like good FPS, that lowers the barrier to entry for PCs and for people to get into PC gaming. And I think that's just going to be better for everybody because, as I've said before, I think PC gaming is, I think it is it's the best. It's better than, I just think it's simply better than console gaming because you have so much more control.
Apps such as OpenAI, Toyota Research, GitHub, and more. And the best part is that Weights and Biases is free for all individuals, academics, and open source projects. It really is as good as it gets. Make sure to visit them through wnb.me/2mp or just click the link in the video description and you can get a free demo today. Our thanks to Weights and Biases for helping us make better videos for you.
That's incredible. Like, as I said, I really, like, I think this is just so incredible. Because, again, that's the biggest weakness right now that I think a lot of like PC gaming in general has. That like you spend $2,000, $4,000, $1,000 on a PC, you make the PC, you buy the PC, you have the PC, And it's like, yes, it runs maybe a bit better, but like that amount of investment, like a lot of people can't drop that much money. And that's why consoles are so popular. It's because people just don't have the money to spend that much on on an entertainment platform, right? It's just that simple. So the fact that this makes the barrier to entry for PC gaming, I think, so much lower. And I think this is going to continue to be the case, right? Parents just get their kids consoles nowadays. PCs cost a fortune. Yeah, but like this makes it to where like PCs will still be expensive, but the barrier to entry to getting in on a PC is cheaper. And I think that's amazing. And also, like, keep in mind, if you're above 60 FPS, most monitors have a refresh rate, a frame rate max of 60. Most monitors are not 140. They're not 144. They're 60. So, like, if you're hitting 60 and above, you're good. Is it 75? Nah, bro. I've been seeing, like, I go to like Best Buy, and I'm seeing like 5 millisecond 60 refresh rate monitors. That's still the standard, man. Like, I'm talking about for normies, that's still the standard, right? Your mom who doesn't know anything about gaming, she's gonna buy you a 60 FPS 5 millisecond refresh rate monitor. That's what's gonna happen. 120 is already very pleasing. I remember whenever I went from 60 to 120, I didn't even know that could exist. DLSS 3.5 and Nintendo Switch next gen because it'll boost performance. And there it is. I think that's another example, right? Of like how this is going to just help people get into gaming earlier, and it's going to make gaming better for everybody. So yeah, there's the video. I'm going to give this a like. I think this is fucking amazing. Yeah, I didn't know anything about DLSS. I'm actually really glad I watched this to have it explained to me, because I didn't really know what the value of DLSS really was. So can you do that with like those sample pictures that girls post for like OnlyFans?